What's up guys, Nathan here. As you probably know by now, GGG just announced a handful of new projects ranging from a new patch, content, and unironically a mobile game. However, their biggest announcement was undoubtedly Path of Exile 2, which introduces 7 acts, 19 ascendancies, and a completely revamped skill system. In this video, I'll be covering everything you need to know about this ambitious next step for Path of Exile. First and foremost, it's important to understand exactly where this sequel fits into existing PoE content. The original game will continue to exist in all its glory. However, once you finish the acts, both games will share the same endgame system, complete with crossplay and identical gameplay mechanics. The only real difference is the leveling experience. Players will be a bit limited if they want to use the new ascendancies, but other than that, which version people choose to play will likely be left up to personal preference. This may sound a bit confusing, but don't worry about it. All this means is that the crazy new changes coming in this mega expansion are packaged alongside a brand new storyline. And now that I've addressed that weird nomenclature, let's take a look at the new systems. The first and most obvious update is the game's fresh coat of paint. I won't spend too long on this one since I think the footage speaks for itself, but I will say that I think the game looks on par with, if not better, than what we've seen of Diablo 4. I'm not usually one for low-hanging comparisons like this one, but Path of Exile is starting to look like the ugly duckling that is growing up to be a beautiful swan. Another upgrade the game is receiving is improved enemy encounters. This gameplay demo showcases Jonathan taking on a fairly lengthy optional boss early on in the game. For reference, here's some footage of Fairgraves, a boss players would be fighting in the current version of the game at around the same level. These kinds of changes might not directly impact the endgame experience, but they still demonstrate a new level of engagement GGG wants players to have while leveling. The next, and most important change in my opinion, is the revamp to skills. Traditionally, Path of Exile has always been a game that provides an extensive amount of choice at the expense of confusing the shit out of new players. Most people manage to figure out the whole putting gems in gear thing, but when it comes to supports, links, and socket management, well, we've all had that one friend who just couldn't wrap their head around it. The big change is that skill gems themselves now contain linked sockets. For example, if you want to link your Cyclone with melee physical damage support, simply pull up the skill gem menu and drop it in. You still have to socket said skill gem in your gear, but once it's in, you're good to go. There are a number of smaller changes being implemented with this system, such as meta gems, hybrid socket colors, and the removal of fusing orbs. But the TLDR is that this lowers the barrier for entry when it comes to gaining a basic understanding, while at the same time raising the ceiling in terms of how many 6 links a character will be able to achieve. The last major update is the one veteran players will likely be most excited about. 19 new ascendancies. For any noobs watching, ascendancies are basically subclasses. For example, if you choose to start as a ranger, you'll be able to ascend as either a Deadeye, Raider, or Pathfinder. We actually weren't given much information on the new ascendancies other than that they're happening, but here's what we know. The Labyrinth will no longer be a mechanic from which you ascend. Different ascendancies will have special voice lines in specific situations, and old ascendancies will still be accessible for players who have unlocked them in the original game. So far, the only confirmed ascendancy names are Defiler, Arcanist, Reaver, Survivalist, Tactician, and Beastmaster. They did go into a little more detail about the latter 3 during the livestream, so I'll be sure to link the timestamp below for those of you who want to learn more. Honestly, that's pretty much all we know so far. Path of Exile 2 will likely enter beta testing in about 1 year's time, and while that might seem pretty far away, there is one detail to keep in mind. Starting with the next league, GGG is going to slowly start implementing changes into the original game to prepare for the big release. This includes things like balance, endgame progression, and graphical improvements. It's already confirmed that an updated Lionized Watch will be included in patch 3.9. Speaking of 3.9, be sure to keep an eye out for my Everything You Need to Know video about that update, which should be out in the next 24 hours. Anyway, this has been Nathan, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you!
I'd like to thank my awesome Patreon supporters, Real Human, Zikarak, Squally, Zoljan, Koda, Julia, Allen, Kepler, Sparky, Catafusk, Putzak, Heiser, 801, Kyle, Istude, Ginzik, Anonymous, and Orangina. You guys make what I do possible. In the most literal sense, thank you so much. If anyone else is interested in joining these fine folks, you can check me out at patreon.com/NathanBrotherBob. I also live stream on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 2 p.m. Central Time. Well, not this Saturday, but most Saturdays anyway. And then you can also check out the Discord in the bottom right-hand corner. Those are all the things you need to know about me, and I hope you guys are having a great rest of your day. Bye.